Hello and welcome to all you Leos. This is your yearly horoscope for 2020 and I want to have this reading not to be too long, but very precise, concise, practical, so that you know 2020 in general, it's going to be like that. You know, these key practical terms there that doesn't make things too complicated. Now for Leo, it's not the year in general again. It's not the year for you where there's drastic things going on that are gonna make your life upside down. No. For some of you though, of course it will, depending on your personal horoscope, but in general, even the Mars retrograde that is going on in Aries, even the Venus retrograde that is going on in Gemini, these are signs that go well with your fire sign of Leo. And they are in houses of your horoscope that are not so significant. So it doesn't always have to be, you know, stressful. And like in 2018, when you had those retrogrades that did affect you, quite a big deal there. Now, but what is important is that Uranus is still in your 10th house, and Uranus, for some Leos, can have a major impact on work. So let's have a look at that first of all. For some of you who don't work, or people say, I'm not working, this has to do with how you want to be seen in the world. There is some changes there that you are certainly able to do. And especially the Leos who have a birthday around and about the 25th of July up until approximately the 3rd and the 4th of August. So these Leos will feel the change when it comes to their profession the most. There is a possibility to liberate yourself for sure, because Uranus is about, I do my own thing. So that doesn't mean necessarily that you have to start for yourself. It could. You can also work for someone who just says, okay, I want a result, but I don't care how you go towards that result. That's good for you. You need freedom in your job, okay, dear Leos. Actually, for all the Leos, because Uranus is in your 10th house, but especially those that I just mentioned, it's possible to liberate yourself when it comes to work. Okay, comfortable, not maybe all the time, because that's not what Uranus wants. Uranus wants to, it's my way or the highway kind of energy. And of course, that demands risk, and that demands, so if you have other planets in your chart that are a bit more earthly, that could be a bit more difficult for you. But you can do it in steps, and you've got time for that. Although Uranus is quite, all of a sudden this happens. So, but that is when it comes to work. If you're not that, those particular degrees that I just mentioned, make sure that when it comes to your work, you do something different than your co-workers. You do it in a different way. You do it in an innovative way. Okay. Another thing when it comes to work, you will get more meaning out of it, because Jupiter joins the club in your 6th house with Pluto and Saturn. That has been stressful. Certainly when the eclipses were there, and so a lot of old stuff. Hopefully you had released them. There's still a part of it in the beginning of the year, but because Jupiter is there, and also with the North Node, it's going to give you new possibilities. So for work, it looks quite opening and quite, you know, when you have the desire to change, you can do that for sure. When it comes to relationships, now you've got something wonderful happening as well with Venus retrograde for a long time in your 11th house of Gemini, in Gemini. And that will be around April up until the first week of August. Why? Because it is such a nice house to have Venus retrograde going retrograde. That means very social time there. Very social. When you're single, it means that you could fall in love with a friend, and it could be very karmic. Why? Because there's going to be a conjunction between Venus and the North Node, and that will be around 5th, 6th of August. So if you are single, there's definitely a possibility of meeting someone in the friend area, or with gatherings, or go out with friends, or go out with associations, gatherings, networking, and internet, all of that. That's all the 11th house. So on a love level, it looks quite good for you. It looks very Gemini-like for you, and it looks very friendly as well. So definitely maybe a friend is coming back into your life, and that becomes a bit more than that. That could be the case as well. Although, in my humble opinion, the retrograde isn't always someone coming back. Mostly it is like an emphasis of time on that particular area of your life. So these are all uplifting energies. Now, where is the bit of a fuss going on there? It is where Mars is in Aries. It's going to be there for 6 months, from July until the end of the year. Again, because Aries goes well with Leo, it's a trine. You won't feel that as so stressful as other signs might feel. So your 9th house is definitely either studying, publishing, traveling, being very active abroad. All these things are favored. Although it is squaring up with that Saturn and Pluto in your 6th house, Jupiter is there as well. So it could mean that you study and you work, for instance, and that gives us stress, of course, because it's a lot on your plate. Or it could mean that you change your philosophy, you change your viewpoint, because that's the 9th house, and it clashes with the work that you do. But again, you've got time here. You've got time between July and December to change that. So there's be very active with people from other cultures. Be active in traveling if you can, of course. Do travel. Do open up your mind. It's good for spirituality, but practical spirituality, you know, with doing something with it. Not just listening to horoscopes, but really doing something so that you feel that changes are there. So these are all good energies, by the way. And Neptune in your 8th house, there's still this, when it comes to self-worth of other people or giving you worth, so to speak, don't expect too much from other people. Go and find your self-worth within you. And another thing can be very good is by mystical practices, and the metaphysical will still be very alluring to you with Neptune there in your 8th house. So yeah, all in all, a pretty good year. A pretty good year for you Leos, especially also when you want to change your work, when you want to have a new relationship. It's a very fresh year for you for 2020. Don't want to elaborate more than that. It is what it is. Have fun with it. I'm sure you will with that Venus there in your 11th house. It's a very social house. If you say, oh, it was a bit not social there, this is improving for sure. And Leos need that. Having said that, thank you so much for watching. I wish you a very good year. If you want to get a reading, just get in touch. Bye-bye.